Hello, jump starters. I want to welcome you back to your second week, having completed your cleanse week of this 30-day challenge. I hope you had fun. I hope you started to see some results, and I hope you're ready to take it up a notch. In this phase of the TLS Jumpstart, it's called phase 2, as we enter into the fat burning stage. I am so happy to be welcoming you to your fat burning stage. You completed your cleanse week. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back for this. You've cleaned out the body. You will absorb nutrients a little bit better through your gut lining, which is now clear. Importantly, you're avoiding recirculating those toxins when they stay in the body, and you will be having an easier time entering into and maintaining your fat burning zone. What is the fat burning zone? Well, it's that time when you begin to see the visceral fat move on the SMART scale. It might be that the weight has been moving for the past week, but the visceral fat may not have budged yet. When there's consistent, continuous weight loss, you begin to be in that perfect zone where if you maintain your daily habits, your rituals, your clean eating, your nutrition, and you add movement, you really can maximize on this coming week as well as the following week. This is also the time when your body will be conquering cravings. Maybe you have a sweet tooth, or maybe you're dependent on coffee, and the caffeine addiction pangs will start calling on you. And maybe your cravings will begin after not having sweets for a week. It's time to maintain your composure and continue, as this fat loss is just getting started. I am your coach, Dr. Ashby. I am very thankful to be bringing you on this journey. I am certified in something called lifestyle medicine. I have a background in internal medicine, and I also have a lot of fun as a professional athlete in the bodybuilding world. So I will be using some of these experiences in that background to help coach and guide you in your experience. However, during our educational interactions, remember that I am simply your coach, and this information here does not substitute for professional medical advice from your own physician about questions related to your own medical care or health journey. So first, again, I'd like you to take a moment, look back at your journal that I asked you to keep last week, and think back about your wins, the things that you actually are proud that you've accomplished. Did you write them down? If not, take a moment to write them down and share this moment with yourself. You can pause the video. You can write about how you felt during the cleanse week. What were the challenges? How did you overcome them? And more importantly, how did you feel? What were the flowers that you're beginning to find? What were the good observations that you want to begin to write down, line up, remember, magnify, and focus on? It's important to take that step to write down the things that you are actually thankful for, because again, what you focus on will grow. During our second phase of the Jumpstart, we are now beginning some movement. While you do have the kit that has your starting meal plan, you can find program recipes online and your exercise guide on the TLS website as well. We have a little bit more protein in the second phase because we'll have some movement. And even though it says to start the shakes, I guarantee you, some people may find that it slows their progress. only because after cleansing the body so much, when we're still not having any dairy product in the meal plan, we're introducing the whey protein is going to be adding a little bit of dairy, albeit very small, to the body. And some bodies actually are sensitive to dairy, and you might be finding this out for yourself if you actually be introduced the whey. So if you're having a good time right now with the meal plan as it currently stands for week 2, you don't have to add in the shakes. Wait another week or 2 before adding it. Continue to ride on this fat loss and the visceral fat drop. Allow yourself to further take advantage of the fat burning zone at this time. As a reminder, there's still no sugars of any kind, no dairy, no grains or starches, and no alcohol. The vegetables, you do have 3 to 5 servings of them, and this will be very clearly outlined in your food guide. So follow the directions. The fruits do drop to 1 serving a day, and I would encourage you to have that serving earlier during the day, either with breakfast or with lunch, but avoid the sugars at night. And as we discussed last week, enter your week having planned it ahead. Because if you've executed it in your mind, you will be running the day. If you just show up unprepared for your day, it might just run you over. So Jim Rohn in this quote says, either you run the day or the day runs you. Have you ever had those days where it's just running you, beating you up, surprises, and you're simply reacting left and right? All of that can be avoided. I know we're all in this together and we're not all perfect, but if you're going to prepare week 2, you will be better prepared to run your days so that they don't end up running you. How do we do that? Being prepared means having your morning routine items unlocked for your success. That morning routine, starting with the vitamins, the fiber second, 20 minutes later, the half a lemon in the warm water. So key. Those 3 simple steps, even if you left the program having just those as habits, they will carry you a long way in setting up your mornings for success. When your first meal is ready, having a packed meal to go is going to be very, very convenient. So nutrients for your body, nourish your body, nourish your microbiome with the fiber. Improve your water intake if you haven't gotten to the point of your half body weight in ounces daily. Continue to work up to that. And of course, I mentioned the meals being prepared, and skip the shakes just for now until we get a little bit more fat loss. In the week 2, you will have essentially a meal plan that will be designed for you to lose fat. Your 1 serving of fruit can be in the morning, as we mentioned. If you'd like to keep track of your proteins, for women, 20 to 25 grams per serving is great. For men, a little bit more, 35 to 40 grams per serving. In terms of our supplement education today, I will spend a couple of minutes talking to you about the core, as it is in your plan 20 or 30 to 45 minutes, before your lunch and before your dinner. If you don't know what is a glycemic or low glycemic meal plan, whenever you eat, what this graph is showing is that the blood sugar is steady when you're in the fat burning zone. Now, if you eat what's on your meal plan, a low glycemic meal plan, the blood sugar will stay level. Remember, we said week 1 that the meals were designed to have you have a stable blood sugar, high fiber, lots of plants. If there is a high glycemic food taking in, there's a spike in the blood sugar that happens in the body. As a result of that spike in the blood sugar, the hormone insulin, which is a storage hormone, is released. The moment that storage hormone is released, you automatically are no longer in a shredding state, losing fat. You're in a storage state, putting it away. So this is why it's so important to avoid those cheats, those moments where the cupcakes are calling, or the very high glycemic foods that can spike the sugar and insulin response, and then turning into storage of fat. The longer the blood sugar remains steady, the better, and the continued fat loss will happen. During this week, highly addictive foods that you may have been used to eating before may be calling you again now. For example, sugars, coffee, maybe alcohol. You went through the detox. Allow yourself the benefit of another week of fat loss, another week of adjusting and healing your taste buds, another week of getting over any sugar addictions and other addictions like caffeine or alcohol. The microbiome had been damaged and now it's beginning to be restored. This time, as you string in days together to total your second week, a lot more healing will be happening on the levels of addiction as you continue to avoid sugars, oils, salts, refined processed foods that are highly addictive. Abstinence is the best when it comes to those. And this week will give you practice. So stay strong. We talked again about the low glycemic impact eating. That's what you're on. The fact that it will improve your body composition. And the supplementation highlight core this week will be very helpful for you. So let's review a little bit about that in the next slides. While you're in the fat burning zone and burning body fat, your TLS core tablet, which is a fat and carb inhibitor called LeptoCore, is also helping you in addition to your nutrition plan. LeptoCore is a substance that is naturally occurring from plants that has been studied in the past as it has been found to reduce fat gain and manage weight loss. In patients who have metabolic syndrome, when they've taken this core, LeptoCore, they've been found to have not only improvement in their body composition, as in reduced stored body fat and improved weight loss, they've also been found to have antioxidants that's improved and symptoms of metabolic syndrome that improve. So I know it's an inconvenience sometimes to remember to take this 30 to 45 minutes before lunch and dinner, but it makes a big difference. And those who stick to that plan notice the difference that it makes. So for the inconvenience, allow yourself to have that experience and see the results that you get at the end of this month and at the end of 3 months, as the core can be continued for up to 3 months. It was studied in populations where they got benefit beyond the initial month. In conclusion, this LeptoCore formulation at both high and low doses are helpful in the management of fat gain and its related complications. The higher dose, which is what's in the TLS package, is significantly more effective at reducing body weight, triglycerides, blood glucose, C-reactive proteins, as well as increasing the feel-good hormones, serotonin. So this was in the published study way back in 2010. So this compound has been used and has been effective and has been helpful. Hopefully you will find it to be useful to you as well. In introducing our movements, I want to give you some tips from the bodybuilding world. We say if you sweat, you are allowing fat and exit, a way to leave your body as sweat or as breath. One way to enhance your sweat and increase your local body temperature is by wearing a neoprene sweatband. Most people wear this in the midsection and might put a moisturizing balm on the skin before applying their sweatband. Sometimes this balm is even sold in conjunction with the sweatband. You can choose whichever types you like, but I would recommend beginning to shape the body a little bit as you introduce movement and cardio. In the morning is a great time to do cardio, especially fasted. Your body will have used up its overnight glycogen stores, so you'll have very little sugars available. So it might mobilize fat storage. During the day, maybe after lunch, a 10-minute walk can energize you, change your entire physiology. And in the evening, in particular, if the dinner is around 7 or later, to have 10 minutes of continuous movement is extremely helpful. Now, there are many, many ways someone can start with movement, but the point is to begin where you are, to start slow, begin with 10-minute increments, work up to 20 to 30 minutes. It can be a variety of things like yoga, walking, HIIT, whatever you will do, begin with that. Consider the waist compression and the neoprene sweatband. Of course, measure the waist weekly as you continue to get your weekly stats. A few tips before we end our guidance for this week. Start your movement slow. Consider fasted cardio. If not, post-meal, next best time. Gradually increase the intensity. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate as per week 1 directions. Electrolytes if needed or if tendency towards cramps. And finally, a little bit of shaping at the waist will never hurt. And you can do that using a neoprene waistband. There are people who have asked about herbal teas, different foods that help with sweet cravings that can particularly be an issue at this time. And some of you may be aware of the neem juice, which is a green juice. It is very bitter. It does help with some addiction to sweets. If you're not used to drinking this, I would definitely use a dropper and use just 1 or 2 drops in the back of the tongue after a meal. This is so bitter, it will change your taste buds calling for sweets. If you have water after this juice, it's also a very good way to completely close the mouth to any sweets and avoid snacks. Another such herb is haritaki powder, which can be found in Ayurvedic stores or online. If you put just the pinch in green tea or in your green smoothie, it can do a lot to help you get over a sweet craving. Continue to obtain your stats once a week. That's enough. Familiarize yourself with some of the parameters that are being followed. The water, for example, you might see inching up. The visceral fat, you might see that begin to move maybe 1 point. Of course, the BMI will slowly lower. And one thing I would say, some people don't realize that there is a metabolic age on some of these SMART scale that correlates a little bit with inflammation in the body. So it may be the same age as your chronological age. It may be a little bit older, but you can also follow that. In short, you want to run your day or it will run you. Running your day means having your morning routine, your vitamins, fiber, lemon water, and meal 1 and meal 2, 3 prepared and ready. Having the fasted cardio if you're going to do it fasted. Water throughout the day already planned. I know this is a lot, but even if you begin with one of these steps, maybe the morning routine, getting that done, celebrating your wins when you do get it done. Of course, getting enough sleep at night is paramount to being able to wake up early and begin to win the day. But find a window, any window, to begin the process, because once you start to have a control over maybe just the morning or half a day, you will get hooked and you will want more and more of those mornings because of the satisfaction that you'll have by midday of having accomplished what you set out to do that day. So I encourage you to begin to automate what you can, because the actions may be difficult now because they're not habits. Once they do become habits, if those habits are useful for you, the results are just byproducts and your life just shows the habits that it's built on. You have your plan. Now you can execute. I know you can be successful. The meal plan for phase 2 is complete with multiple recipes on the TLS website that you can follow along. Make sure you're enjoying the foods. Make sure you're getting the protein. Make sure you're getting the fats. The morning routine is your key strategy to organize your day. Have success early in the day with that morning routine. If your movement is added in the morning, that gives you even more success. So many checks can be done by the time noon comes around. You got the tools. The supplementation works if your meal plan is working. So if your meals are with you and you're eating your meals, your supplementation is only separating you from the masses. And so you've got the support of a whole community within TLS. If you find and look for the TLS Facebook page, you'll see tons of other people around the country who are going through this. But with this additional handholding, I know that you can be successful in executing your week 2. I share in your success already, and I want you to share your wins as well. The more you discuss the things that are working, they will multiply. You put your attention on your small wins, even tell friends and family or new friends on a Facebook page. You will simply be talking about wins. Let's make this conversation the one that gets the most attention. Inspire others through your action, and I wish you a successful week 2.